Hey sports fans, this is Straight from the Basement with Tommy OMMY. I'm a sports fan who always said, if I never played a sport professionally, then I want to talk about it. I'm born and raised in New York City. Played organized basketball for several well-known teams in the mid-'70s and the early '80s, such as the legendary Home Cold Rucker Tournament, Melbank, Stone Gym and Riverside Church, LaGuardia House, and my all-time favorite, Each One Teach One. Having sports in my life at an early age always kept me out of trouble. If I wasn't playing basketball, I was either playing football or baseball. Hey sports fans, this is Straight from the Basement with Tommy OMMY, where my opinions, views, and facts will cover the hottest, the latest, and the past sports events. Welcome once again. I want to continue to thank everyone who has liked and subscribed to my podcast. And if this is the first time you're viewing it, please do the same. As always, before I even get into today's topic, yes, I got one hot topic to talk about. And I'm talking about the Miami Dolphins superstar, wide receiver Tyreek Hill. Listen, the cheetah just stated he's out. Now, I don't know if he's stating he's out of Miami or he was out when they interviewed him and he didn't want to talk no more. I don't know. We don't know. I don't know. That's what I read into it. Most is reading that he wants out of Miami. That may be true. But when they were interviewing him, he says, I'm out. Now, that could have meant, hey, I don't want to be interviewed no more. I'm out of here. Or, yeah, I'm out of Miami. Now, I got one thing to say. One thing only. When Tyreek, when he's with the Chiefs, stated that he can't get his money, the monies that he wants. He wanted a 4-year contract for $120 million, right? That's what he wanted. The Chiefs couldn't afford that. You don't leave Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, especially my homie. You don't leave them. Tyreek was supposed to say, okay, give me your best, and then tell his agent, yo, okay, this is their best. This is what I really want. Now go out there and get me some endorsements to make up for this money that they can't pay me. He was never, ever, when he made that decision, I said to myself, I said, Tyreek, you're going to regret that. And I knew he was going to regret that. Here we are 2 Super Bowls later that he could have won. And here we go, maybe a third one. We'll see if KC can three-peat. This dude, you just walked away from a gold mine. You know what I'm saying? So now, this is a decision you made, and now doesn't matter if you're not a Dolphins next season. The way I'm looking at it, it doesn't matter. You've never, I don't see you ever, maybe depending on who you get picked up. I don't see you winning another Super Bowl because you was just really just chasing the money and not thinking about the bigger picture, which was the win. Talk about winning Super Bowls, man, which is hard to do in NFL. You know what I'm saying? It's so hard to do. You could have stuck and stayed with the Chiefs. I mean, you the cheetah. You the fastest dude damn near on earth. One of the fastest men on earth. Come on. Your career with Mahomes? What? Man, come on, man. What we saying? You would have took over anyway because Travis, he's at that age where he's done damn near. Probably after this season. You was going to still be the focal. Listen, man, I got so much to say, but I got a long show. Tyreek, you made a bad decision. I wish you nothing but luck. Whatever you plan on doing, if you plan on packing up again with your family to go to another city, Listen, I'm hoping it's a city where they can go compete for a Super Bowl, okay? Because you damn sure ain't getting it with Miami. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got to say. I got nothing else to say. Let's get started with today's topic. I'm talking about Wildcard 2025. Wildcard 2025, y'all. Listen, the stage is set. AFC, NFC teams are already set. We already know who's playing who. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to be honest with you. With this regular season that just finished, majority of it, I was not happy with it. Was not happy with this season. Like last season, was not happy. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because we had too many damn injuries to too many damn key players. Every team you look for, your superstar, all-star players, they out. Key players, they out. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't enjoy a lot of the games that I was watching. And I got the league pass, so I'm watching game by game. I'm on the Red Zone channel, and I'm saying, yo, where's so-and-so at? So-and-so hurt. Man, so I couldn't enjoy. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. This wild card is going to make it up for me. I already know the wild card is going to be bananas. That I know. I know this for sure because I'm looking at the matchups and I'm saying, oh, we got goodies. I don't see blowouts on none of these games. All these games are going to be tight. That's for sure. Trust me on that one, right? Trust me on that. Now, what I want to say, I had the Dolphins going to the playoffs. But we already know what took place with quarterback Tua, right? Concussion, got his third concussion, right? The other key players was hurt, but it was all about Tua, right? I had them going to the playoffs. That's all I'm saying. Not to do no real damage, but I had them going to the playoffs, right? Then I had the Cowboys going to the playoffs. You already know what happened with Dak Prescott, right? Season ending, right? You had Micah Parsons. You had DeMarcus, right? Lawrence. You had others who missed key games. They were hurt, right? Then 49ers, Christian McCaffrey, Debo, others were out for periods of time. So I had those three teams going to the playoffs, right? Now, who's in the wild card? Listen, going to be a battle to get into that divisional round. Oh, it's going to be on and popping this weekend. I can't wait. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait. So, to help me dissect these wild card games, who will move on and why, I got 4 guests for y'all. Listen, these are no strangers to this show. I want to introduce my former guests. I got Brian from Brooklyn, New York. I got my man Big Will from St. Louis, Missouri. Yes. And I got the man who does it all for the podcast for the last year and a half. The footage technician, the editor. He's everything to this show. My main man, Rel, from St. Louis, Missouri. And all the way from Chicago. Yeah, I ain't get him the last time I got him was in a baseball show. Yeah, he know his baseball, y'all. Yeah, my man Phil from Chicago. Hey, fellas, what's going on? How y'all doing? Talk to me. How you doing? Yeah, thank y'all for hanging out with me virtually in my basement. Listen, we gonna cut to the chase. This wild card, right? Listen, we just gonna get it on. I got 4 questions for y'all plus a bonus. My man Big Will, I'm gonna start with you, dude. Listen, question number 1. We had 18 weeks of regular season football games, regardless of where your favorite team ended up. Did you enjoy the season as a diehard football fan? and why? Please explain, Will. Talk to me.
I enjoyed the season, the long 18 weeks that it was. Obviously, my team didn't do very well this year, but I enjoyed the unpredictability of each week. You had teams that could beat other teams that you wouldn't expect throughout the year. And certain players had breakthrough games throughout the year as well. One thing that surprised me this year was I think he's a rookie with the 49ers. I think his name is Pearsall or something. He's a
Yeah.
receiver. He did
Uh-huh.
pretty well in a few games. I mean, there were some games where he didn't do much, but he showed some potential. And then Oduze with the Bears, he did some good things too. But I did like the unpredictability of the season. But you find that every year, and that's really what excites me about.
All right, so you enjoyed the season. You enjoyed it. All right. Thank you so much for that, Brian. I mean, well, you know what? I wanted Brian to go first, and I screwed up. So, Will, thank you for that. Brian, same question. Did you enjoy the season as a diehard football fan, and why? Talk to me.
Yeah, the NFL is always a good product to watch. We got our brothers out there doing the incredible stuff like Saquon Barkley, jumping over people backwards. You know what I'm saying? It's just spectacular. And then you got the rookie kid from Washington. I know you talked about this on one of your shows. It's the rookie in Washington, the Commanders, man, no
Oh,
joke.
are we talking Jaden
Yeah, Jaden
Daniels?
Daniels.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
yeah, I talked about him last show. My
yeah.
God, yes,
I
yes.
try to catch all of his games, and it's been an exciting season. Even though my team, the Miami Dolphins, is just we lost it today. We ain't making the playoffs, but I enjoy watching the game, no doubt.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for that, Brian. Same question, Rel. Same question. Did you enjoy the 18-week regular season?
I definitely enjoyed this season a lot. Aside from my Washington Commanders finally having a great, successful season, we found our quarterback after years of going through Patrick Ramsey, Mark Brunell, Rex Grossman, Jason Campbell, just a lot of C player quarterbacks. So we finally have a superstar, and we finally it's actually competing with the division right now. So I was happy about that. And aside from my team, just it's been interesting to see the pretty much how you were saying in your last episode as far as the running backs are
Right.
important. It's important again now. So instead of offenses just easily spreading the offense out and hitting the 3 and 4 receiver, you got to have some big boys in the trenches, and you got to have a run game now. And that's probably one of my favorite aspects about the game. So it's been a real good, interesting year.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, the running game is back. It disappeared a little bit last year, but it's back. It's back. Yes, Phil, same question. Did you enjoy this 18-week regular season football?
As a football fan, of course, you love watching the competition. This is the highest level of football being played at the professional rank, so of course you're going to enjoy it from that perspective. As a Bears fan, it was mighty tough. Started great, ended tragically. We did beat the Packers, so there's always solace in that. But for me, I think the most compelling thing that I took from this year was the rise of the quarterback play, particularly the rookies that came in this past draft. You had Jaden Daniels, who's a standout. Bo Nix
Mm-hmm.
leading his team to the playoffs. And then you look at everything that's going on across the board, the potential of what Drake May could potentially bring if he sticks it out in New England. And then of course Penix, when he finally got a chance to play, he showed some promise. And then of course my Bears, they have a young rookie QB who has some highs, some lows. You see some
Yeah.
potential there, some growth that needs to occur in year two. But it also makes you think how much of this is sustainable with you see a lot of correlation between the college game being translated into the program with different styles of offenses, and maybe that's the reason why these young quarterbacks are thriving. But either way, I'm here for it, and I love it.
You love it. Okay, so it sounds like all four enjoyed the 18-week regular season. Now, before we move on to question number 2, let me tell you why I asked that simple question. Did you enjoy? Because, like I said earlier in the show, and I'm going to say it again, I didn't really enjoy this season. And I'm going to tell you why I enjoyed this season. Not because my Giants sucked from out the gate. You know what I'm saying? They sucked out the gate, and I just tuned them out. But that wasn't the reason why I'm saying I didn't like the season, right? For me, it had some peaks, right? But for me, it was too much injuries to key players, from the time the season began until now, week 18. Too many key players in all positions. So I'm watching the NFL ticket, which I do on my red zone each week, and I'm saying, yo, where's this one? Where's this one at? Where's this one? Because we as sports fans, right? No matter the sport, we not trying to really look at who's coming off the sideline or who's coming off the bench. We want to see the stars. We want to see the key players play, right? Because that's where the competition comes at. And I look at the 49ers, who I had before the season even began. I had them going back to the Super Bowl one more time to try to work it out or make it or beat the Kansas City Chiefs if that's who they're going to see again, or the Ravens, right? You couldn't even say that after the fifth week. The 49ers was banged up to the point where they were done after the fifth week, right? Look at the Cowboys, who I don't advocate because I'm a Cowboy hater, right? Being a Giant fan, but look at the Cowboys. Dak goes down. Parsons go down. DeMarcus go down. They all go down at the same time. It was like, okay, damn, what's going on here, right? You had Justin Herbert. He was hurt for a while, right? The list just goes on and on. I'm surprised that Kansas City Chiefs got the record they got. Pacheco goes down, right? Who's it? Juju Smith, he goes down, right? I mean, my homie had nobody to really throw to, but he was still making the shit work. They were still pulling out games. So for me, I'm looking at these games and I'm saying, yo, where's so and so? Where's so and so at? Then you got to go online, go on the depth chart. Oh, he's out today. He's out. So I didn't really enjoy. This is what I'm saying. I didn't really enjoy. Yes, it was some games that I was like, ooh, started my Monday off right. You know what I'm saying? And then there was a lot of games that I was just watching. So that's the reason why I asked you guys this question. But I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. So I want to move on to question number 2, y'all. Question number 2. Well, it's playoff time. We all know the quarterbacks as the number one dude that must take his game to another level. That's why they get the big bucks. Every quarterback out here right now, unless they just starting, is getting big bucks, serious bucks, right? So my question is this. Besides the quarterback, please name only one other position that is key in your books to have a chance to move on. Please explain.
Might be a biased opinion, or I'm going to pick a position group with the offensive line. You have to have a good offensive line to protect the quarterback, obviously, but to do the dirty work up front to open up those gaps to make sure that they can set up for the passing game. If you don't have a passing game in the playoffs, you're not going to do very well. If you're only able to run the ball or you're not able to run the ball very effectively, you can't set up for the deep passes or the mid-level passes that you need to advance the football, especially in the playoffs. So those big boys up front, I played offensive line myself, so I'm going to always go with them. They are next to behind the quarterback, and they are very important.
Okay. I think you guys understand why I asked the question and why I said only, right? Same question, Brian. Same question.
Well, before I answer, I just want to get back to what you were saying about not enjoying the season. I mean, if you look at last season, we lost a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of key quarterbacks. So, if you're going by injuries and stuff like that, you could say that every year. I think last year was worse.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that before you answer number 2, because in one of my shows, was the prior one or the one before that, I did mention 18 weeks season, 17 games, should say, I think it's too much. I think it's too much for the human body. And you know they added this 17 games. They talking about adding maybe another one soon. This is too much. But yeah, it's too much for the human body. The way these guys are hitting each other, shit. You'd be lucky if you get a Super Bowl, a decent one. Yeah. Well, question number 2.
Yeah, to answer the question, I'm gonna have to agree with the last brother. I mean, every time that I watch a game, the offensive line is good and protects the quarterback, and he has all day to carve out the defense. That's everything, especially in the playoffs. And then they opening the holes for the running back. Yeah, I think that's the second most important thing. Of course, defense is important too. You know, I would put that like a close second. But I would have to say the offensive line. I have to agree with the last guy.
All right, so I got Will, I got Brian, both saying O-line. Rel, what you say?
Yeah, the games are won in the trenches. You know, offense win games, defense win championships. So I agree, the offensive line is really the next most important position, but got to go with the D line. If the D line dominant, then they could cause the offense to be in disarray the majority of the game, whether it's stopping a run or rushing the quarterback. So that's very vital in my opinion. So I would say like the nose tackle or the edge rushers is some of the most important pieces of the game.
Okay, so you got the defensive line.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So we got 2 O-lines, we got 1 defensive line. Phil, talk to me.
Okay. Principally, I want to say the battle in the trenches is probably the most key important part, which line you choose. But I'm gonna take an outlier because I'm looking at the teams that made the postseason or secured a spot thus far, and all of them have something in common, whether it's an adequate or a very stout run game. So I'm gonna choose the running back, especially in this particular season, because you see teams have made strategic moves to acquire elite level running backs, whether it's the Ravens getting Derrick Henry, the Packers getting Josh Jacobs, or the Eagles snatching your soul and allowing Saquon to just go across and become an Eagle. So you see these teams with these style run games have been viable all season. And if they can maintain that, not only do you control time of possession, but you also mitigate the chances that your opponent has to score against you. So I think the running backs may be a deciding factor on who moves and advances to the Super Bowl.
Well, see, Phil just got the $1 million lotto from me, right? Because that was the reason why I came up with this question, right? Because, like you said a few minutes ago, Brian, the running game this season, it's been, if you look at how many, and I didn't check, and I should have checked, I think we got a good 12, at least 12 to 14 running backs that rushed over 1,000 this year. We'll check later on. I'll check later on. Yeah. This has been, like a rebirth for the running game. Because, you had last year, you had so many offensive coordinators just throwing the ball. You know what I mean? I watched some games, whereas I hear the commentator, they only ran the ball 10 times. Out of the minutes that's played in the game, and you only running it 10 times because you got no running game. And when you ain't got no running game, then you got no running game. You look at the teams, like Phil said, that's in the playoffs right now. 99.9 got running games. And for the ones who didn't make the playoffs, didn't have a running game. You know what I'm saying? Look at the Cowboys, for instance, right? Yeah, Dak got hurt, right? But look who they got at, you know what I mean? They brought back homeboy from the mountains who was smoking weed all day, right? Zeke, I don't know what they were thinking with that, right? No disrespect to the other running back. I forgot homeboy's name. I just had a senior moment. But he didn't. I don't think he approached no 1,000. He didn't approach no 1,000. Right? So no running game. My Giants, no running game. Right? And so, you just go down. You look at the 49ers. No running game. They had Mason. You know what I'm saying? Mason, the young man Mason, he was trying to hold it up. until McCaffrey come back. But he came back and got hurt again. So that running game is, for me. You can have a shitty O-line, right? But if that O-line if they can't protect the quarterback, you look before we move on. You look at Cincinnati, Joe Burrow. He gets sacked per game at least 7 to 9 times. And when it's a passing, they can't hold him up, and he don't even get mad at them. If you watch Cincinnati, he don't even get mad at them because he's expected to get sacked. And he's tapping these cats on their butt like you tried. Don't worry about it. We gonna get him. Just do a little bit better next, right? Boom. But they got a running game. When they got a decent running game, they had a great running game when they had Mixon Dixon. You know what I'm saying? And let him go to Houston, which I'm still bugging on that one. But listen, gotta have the running game. The running game for me, yeah. Outside of that quarterback, I agree with you, Phil. Gotta have the running game.
Ain't no running game without an offensive line, because Saquon Barkley did play.
Exactly.
He did play last year, Saquon Barkley. But who did he play for?
But Barkley, the years that he played with the Giants, we all know the Giants had probably one of the worst offensive lines, right? But when it came to passing, right? But they were able to open up. Barkley was still able to do what Barkley do, not like he's doing now. Of course, he has a way better offensive line, but he had some good seasons with the Giants.
Well, his talent's undeniable, but
right.
With a good offensive line, he's a totally different player. Now, he's MVP caliber. He's taking the team to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? It starts.
Yeah. Well, thank y'all for question number 2. Yeah, now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes now with question number 3 regarding this wild card. And I want to start off with the AFC matchups. And it's as follows. Now, this is the projective AFC field because we're going to start, right? Kansas City Chiefs. We already know they got the bye. Everybody got to come through them one more time, right? And just maybe, we're going to see if Mahomes and Travis and Andy going to get a three-peat. We're going to see, all right? Because now, as I mentioned in the past, if they get the 3, do Mahomes become in the conversation as being the GOAT? But I had everybody shot that down when I mentioned it because Brady, hands down, we can't even talk about GOAT. But I had to say that, right? Because it was mentioned on a few of the media outlets, and I won't name the outlets. That's not what I do here, right? But I wanted to throw that out. So the AFC matchup, Will, we got the Denver Broncos, I'm going to start off with the Buffalo Bills, the 2 seed, at home, going against the Denver Broncos. Who do you think will move on to the divisional round and why? Talk to me.
Out of all of these games,
I want to start off with the Buffalo.
All right, so I
Denver.
got Buffalo going to the next round.
So you got Buffalo.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I think they just got the tools to beat Denver. I mean, Denver's been on a run. They've been playing well lately. But Buffalo is a well put together team. They've been at it for the last few years. And I think they've got the squad to make a run this year. And I don't think they're going to lose in the first game of the playoffs. So I think they're going to beat out the Denver.
All right, so you're going with Buffalo.
Yes, sir.
All right. 4th seed is Houston Texans, and they are hosting the Chargers, Los Angeles Chargers. Who do you have?
They host the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, Chargers is going to the Houston Texans now.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I want to choose Houston. But they've had some hiccups at the end of the season. But I kind of believe in CJ Stroud. and the team that they have there. So I'm gonna stick with Houston
Okay.
advancing.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we got the Steelers at Baltimore Ravens, the 3rd seed going against the 6th seed.
Yeah, I gotta go with Baltimore.
You're
Gotta go
going
with
with
the
Baltimore.
Ravens. Yeah, they got with Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, King Henry coming out that backfield. I think they're going to be able to really get through the Steelers. It's just tough luck that the Steelers got Baltimore in the first round here. If they were playing Houston, I feel a little better about picking the Steelers to advance. But since they're going up against Baltimore with the good defense that they have and with the offensive weapons that they have with Flowers as well, I think that Baltimore will advance there.
Yeah. So same question, Brian. Same question. Denver Broncos at Buffalo. Who you got? Who's moving on?
I like Bo Nix. I like the throwback uniforms they had on today, but that's all they got. I'm gonna have to go with Buffalo in that one. That's just gonna be a blowout to me.
Okay. All right. Oh, we got blowouts. Okay. I don't know. I don't know about that. I'll be honest with you. I don't know about that blowout. I've been looking at Denver the last 5 weeks.
Rookie quarterbacks in the playoffs don't fare that well, and Buffalo's real hot, and they run up the score on people.
Yeah, well, Sean got them playing that defense, and Bo ain't got nothing to lose. So, yeah, we gonna see. I don't know if it's gonna be a blowout. Well, all right. Well, you got the Chargers and the Texans.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like the Chargers coach, but I kind of I was expecting to play Pittsburgh because that's how I was lining up.
Right.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Texans.
You're going with the
Yeah,
Texans.
I'm gonna go with the Texans on that.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. All right. Sure now?
No, not really sure, but I'm gonna go with them
Right.
because I think they've just over the years they've been building and building and building. So I think that this is another step that they're gonna take to get to the next round.
Okay. So, Steelers at the Ravens at Baltimore. Who you got?
That's gonna be tough too, because that's division rivalry, and Pittsburgh already beat them this year.
That's
Uh,
right.
and I saw both the games that they played. They kind of handled Pittsburgh pretty good a couple of weeks ago. So I think that's going to continue in the playoffs. I think this is Lamar's just a special player. I think this is his year. I think he's going to the Super Bowl this year. So yeah. So if I think that, I definitely think I'll be Pittsburgh.
Okay. All right. Well, same questions, Rel. We got Buffalo hosting the Denver Broncos. Who you got, Rel?
I have upset alert with Buffalo. I don't know. Is it something in me? Because like at first glance, you would say like I would say Buffalo will win that, but something is in me. I feel like Josh Allen may have an off game. I feel like Denver may capitalize on that. So, and it's just a real gut feeling because I'm just used to Buffalo choking in the playoffs these recent years, and I feel like this may be that game for them.
So what you saying? You saying Denver gonna upset?
Yeah, I'm on upset alert with Denver.
Listen, before we even move on, I'm gonna say this: Josh Allen, he's a regular season dude. Looks great regular season. Well, we already know that Denver defense is coming, and once he gets rattled, he is famous for declining real fast. If he's not gonna run, because we know he's gonna run, okay, he's gonna run. He's gonna have to do a lot of running with this defense. It ain't gonna be easy. I'm almost with you on that. Bro, almost with you on that. Yeah, well, the Chargers and the Texans, who you got?
I got CJ Stroud in Houston. Even though CJ Stroud had a down year, just following him from college, typically whenever he's doing kind of like slightly having like a off season or off time, he typically turns that around and come back strong the next game or whenever something is high stakes on the line. Right. So I feel like he's going to turn it around in this game against the Chargers, and also it's against Harbaugh. I had the rivalry from when Harbaugh was at Michigan, so he still probably have a bad taste in his mouth against Harbaugh. So I'm going with Houston for that one.
You're going with Houston for this. Okay. All right. And the Steelers at Baltimore. Who you got?
Oh yeah, Lamar. I'm going for Lamar and Derrick Henry. I feel like this is really the Ravens' playoffs to lose, in my opinion. So
Mm-hmm.
I got Baltimore taking that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for all your projective AFC wildcard selections. So, Phil, we're going to end it with you with the AFC Broncos at Buffalo. Who you got, Phil?
I got the Bills, but I think it's going to be a close game because a lot of people. Josh Allen was 13 seconds away from taking the Chiefs out one year, so I think the playoff woes of him are kind of like miscued. But I do think with the Broncos, their secondary, particularly Pat Surtain, going up against a young receiving core, could do some damage and make it so that Josh Allen has to put that Superman cape on. But I think the Bills ultimately will prevail in a tight one.
Okay. All right. All right. Same question with the Chargers and the Texans. Who you got?
I got the Chargers winning that one. I don't like how the Texans have been playing this season, particularly on defense. They can be had, and I think with the O line being as stout as it is for the Chargers, their running game is starting to pick up now with J.K. Dobbins, and then of course with Herbert, he's very talented, multifaceted. I think this is the year him and Harbaugh together get them over the hump, get a playoff win, and send the Texans home.
Yeah, I want to say something about that, but I'm going to let you finish with the Steelers and the Ravens. Who you got?
That's the one I think is going to be a blowout. I think the Ravens are just going to dog walk the Steelers. The
Oh,
Steelers
yeah.
have been treading water for the past 3-4 weeks. They
Yeah.
haven't looked pretty good. Offense has gotten kind of stagnant. The connection between Pickens and Wilson, something's not aligned there. So I have the Ravens just, putting belt to ass, as you would say, and just walking away from the Steelers and going on to the next round.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. Listen, the Houston Texans, right? That offensive line is like my New York Giants offensive line. It's horrible. My man gets sacked. He running for his life. CJ all season. Every time I'm watching him, I said, this old line is horrible. It's just like my New York Giants. But they got Mixon Dixon. And so they got Mixon Dixon, and they got to go to him to that running game. They got to go to him at least 20, 25 times to have a chance because CJ going back to throw is going to be rough for him. I'm just saying. It's going to be rough for him because you already know McVay and them, they come in with that defense. You know what I'm saying? And Herbert, oh, I love Herbert. I love them from day one. So if that running game for Houston with Mixon Dixon is not working, then I got the Chargers beating them, upsetting them. I got the Chargers going in there and beating them. That's what I got. And I'm gonna be honest with that Denver game. If they can get to Josh Allen early, if they can get to him early and consistently get to him, then yeah, don't be surprised because do you see how fast Bo Nix can run? I didn't know he could run. My man run. He got jets on. My God. So remember, he's a rookie, got nothing to lose. And so he got nothing to lose. So he's Sean New Bree. What's my man from St. Louis who retired? Drew Bree. He's the new Drew Bree for the coach. You know what I'm saying? Bo Nix is the new Drew Bree for the head coach for the Denver Broncos. He got nothing to lose. That's just my take on it. So thank y'all, all four of y'all, for question number 3. Right? That's the AFC. We're gonna move on to the NFC matchups. Yes. Starting with you, Will. We got the number 2 seed, the Philadelphia Eagles, going at it against the Green Bay Packers. Who you got in this one?
I got Philly. Got a rested Saquon, rested offensive line, a rested team coming in, and I think they're gonna beat Green Bay. I can't say if it's gonna be a blowout or not because Green Bay is a good team this year. But I think Philly has the upper hand on that game.
Okay. All right. Yeah. You know, I ain't going to fight you on that one. None of y'all. Vikings, Tampa. In Tampa, who you got?
I don't know. I think I mean what Tampa Bay has been able to do with what's his name, the quarterback there. Um, can't think of his name right
Baker.
now. Yeah, Baker Mayfield. They've done well, but Minnesota with Jefferson, and they've been playing well this year. I think Minnesota is going to win that game. I'd be surprised if they don't beat Tampa
Okay.
Bay.
Okay. And then we got the Washington Commanders at LA Rams. Again,
I got Washington as my favorite. I love how Daniels has been playing this year. He has done an outstanding job in his first year, and they've got a good team put together. And I think the Rams they've been barely holding on this year. They did go on a run after having a pretty bad start to the year, but I think that ends when they face Washington. Washington's going to beat them.
okay. All right. So you got Philly, Minnesota, and Washington.
That's right.
Okay, I hear that, Will. I hear that. I'm gonna weigh in on this a little bit too. Same question, Brian. We got Green Bay going to Philly. Who you got?
Okay, I got the NFC as going to be upset wild card. So I think the Packers are going to get Philly, and the reason why I say that is because
Mm,
I remember the Packers run last year. They almost went to the Super Bowl.
that's true.
Uh, they was upsetting everybody. They got the team that's built for the playoffs. They're built for the cold weather. I don't trust Philly. The only reason why I think it's going to be a shootout for sure. It's going to be a one possession game coming down to the end. Somebody's going to win with a field goal at the end. But I got the Packers in this one because I like Jordan Love, and I just don't trust Philly, even though they got Saquon. I'm gonna have to go with the Packers because I remember what they did last year, and I like Jordan Love.
Yeah, they almost did make it to the Super Bowl. Yeah, almost. Yeah, they was almost snuck in there. Yes, same question. Minnesota Vikings going to Tampa. Who you got, Brian?
I'm gonna go with the Bucks on this one. I don't trust
Mm,
Minnesota either. I just don't.
mm.
Darnold, I've seen him enough over here with the Jets. This is the playoffs now, and he's showing when the pressure's on him because New York got that pressure. They put you in that pressure too. You know what I'm saying? He didn't handle it well, and that's the same thing that's going to happen in the playoffs. I think the Bucks are going to take him. I think Baker Mayfield is having a very good season. He got a lot of confidence, and the Bucks is not playing around.
Mm. Okay, wasn't expecting that. We got Washington Commanders at LA. Who you got?
I'm gonna go with Washington because you know me, man. I just love Jaden Daniels, man. I like this Washington team. They show a lot of grit this year. The Rams are cool and everything. I like Pika was his name, Pikachu.
Right.
He's a very good player, man. I like watching him. Exciting player. But I'm gonna go with Washington on this one. I don't know if their seating is lower, but if their seating is lower, then I got all three of them as upsets.
Okay, so NFC for you is going to be you expecting upset, which I didn't see any of y'all talking about an upset other than maybe the Rams. That's just my take. Same question, Rel. Green Bay at Eagles. Who you got?
All right, so between Green Bay and Philly, I have Philly taking that, but that's really going to depend on that chemistry between Jalen and his receivers. Because I remember sometime during the season, it's been some kind of like backlash or drama within them as far as getting the ball and stuff of that nature, and as far as just them just coinciding with Jalen. So that's going to play a major part. But overall, I feel like Philly should take that one.
Yeah. Vikings, Tampa. Who you got?
I had Tampa. I feel like Sam Darnold's luck probably
Mm.
run out for the season. I feel like Baker and Michael Evans, that tandem, is going to lock in. And it's in Tampa.
It's in Tampa.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So definitely they're gonna use that home crowd to their advantage. I feel they're gonna lock in. I feel like they're gonna figure out Jettis, even though Jettis probably have a big game. I feel like it won't be enough for the playoff spot.
Okay, yeah. Well, Mike Evans just got 3 million. He got his yardage. for that bump. Yeah. So he coming in there. Yeah, he on home too, please. And then the Commanders, Rams. Who you got?
Oh yeah, I got the Commanders going crazy. I have Jaden Daniels having
Hey.
a highlight show.
Yeah, that boy special. I'm loving him already. Yeah, even though he's in my division with my New York Giants, I'm loving that dude, boy. Yeah. Okay, Ralph. Thank you. Same questions, Phil. Green Bay Packers at the Eagles. Who you got?
Whew, okay. If Jalen Hurts plays, I believe the Eagles will take that. However, if for some reason he's still in protocol, I think it's going to be a close game either way. But if for some reason he gets injured or can't go, then just give me the Packers, because those are the two teams I believe in this entire playoff format. They're like neck and neck. They're like, okay, we got elite running backs, cool, that cancel each other out. We got young up and coming quarterbacks, cancel each other out. Our defenses are evolving in real time. So that was the game I found the hardest to call, even though Jalen has more experience as opposed to Jordan Love. He's played in the Super Bowl, so I think it could be a close one. But if everything shapes out the way I think it will, the Eagles will win that narrowly by like a field goal.
Okay. Yeah, with Josh Jacobs and Barkley going at it. But Kenny Pickett, the backup for Eagles, my man had a great game last week. My God, I'm looking at him. I'm saying shit. You wouldn't even think Hurts was on. I was like, who's Jalen Hurts? This dude was doing it. So I got what you saying. If he don't come out concussion protocol on time, you got a backup quarterback who can do the damn thing. So I'm just saying, Phil. I'm just saying. Well, the Vikings and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who you got?
Now that one, because that's gonna get decided within the next few hours here.
Yeah.
The Vikings or the Lions. And my thing is, if it is the Vikings at the 5 seed in Tampa, I got the Vikings. I wasn't a believer at first of Sam Darnold.
Nobody was.
I didn't see it coming, honestly, but it's not just Jetta that they're going to have to worry about now. Darnold has activated Addison. Hawkinson is now back. Nabler is looked to be a good receiver 3. So I think their firepower is even more potent than what the Bucs got going on. And Todd Bowles likes to send extra help to get to the quarterback. And Sam Darnold has proven that he can take that and make the plays necessary that is available to him. And they also have Jones in the backfield. So, yeah, if it's Vikings-Tampa, give me the Vikings. Now, if it's the Lions, then I think Tampa beats the Lions.
Okay. Oh yeah?
Yeah, because that offense the Bucs have a high-power offense too, and the Lions are just a wounded warrior. Their defense is just limping along. They're holding on for dear life. And
Yeah. The defense got hurt. They got hurt these last few weeks. You're right about that. And I can't even piggyback on the last season because remember they were 30 minutes away from going to the Super Bowl, right? And so now they ain't got the defense, personnel because they banged up. And this is what I was saying earlier in the show. Why I enjoy this season too much because key players banged up. You know what I mean? And then this shifts to make that team look like they ain't nobody. That's why I said I didn't really enjoy the season. But thank all four of y'all for your weigh in on the AFC and the NFC and who you think is gonna move on. Now, before we end this show, I got to talk about and give you guys a 2 minutes, right? Bonus time, right? Because I want you guys to come out. It ain't got to be about football. Be about baseball. Your favorite player, your favorite team, right? What you don't like, what you don't like about the organization, whatever you want to talk about with sports, you got 2 minutes to get it off your chest. So, Will, I'm going to start with you. You got 2 minutes to get whatever you want to get off your chest.
All right, I want to talk about 2 things. First, we got to give my man Bryce Young for the Carolina Panthers some help. He can't do it alone. Y'all shouldn't have benched him at the beginning of the year because y'all wanted to draft him without an offensive line and any receivers to throw it to. He needs weapons. He needs an offensive line to protect him and improve that defense. I know it's getting better, but we got to do more work. We got to put more pieces together to build that team. You can't keep drafting a quarterback without drafting and getting other pieces to help him along the way, especially a rookie quarterback. So I was not a fan of their decision to bench him at the beginning of the season or towards whenever they benched him during the season. I felt like that wasn't fair to him, especially given the decisions that the front office made after drafting him. They should have did more work, more whatever they needed to do, some more talking with other organizations to get players, veteran players, to help him out, but they didn't. So he struggled because of that. Now, moving over to baseball. I know my man Brian got a Mets Mets fan. I see it. I am mad at the move from Juan Soto. It is what it is. You gotta get it how you live, right? You got to make the best decision for what you feel like you need to do. I did not like how I think Juan Soto did an interview where he was talking to the press about he never talked to any of his former teammates. He hadn't talked to them. He hadn't had a conversation with them or whatever. He just made the move and that was it. He kind of like just left the Yankees cold turkey. And I just think that was classless. I think he could have at least talked to some of the guys. I don't know what the relationship was between them, if he had beef with them, if he didn't like them at all. But I feel like as a professional, you at least have a conversation with the guys that you was in the trenches with, especially in the World Series, especially how they lost the World Series, about, hey, this is how I'm feeling. Maybe this may not be the best fit for me. I may need to move on. But to know that he just kind of just left and hadn't had any contact with any of those guys, I didn't really like that move. Now, I can't say how he's going to do with the Mets. I wish him the best. He's a great player. I love to watch him play the game. But I just didn't like that part of the move from the Yankees to the Mets, and especially moving from the Yankees to the Mets. It's not like he went to a whole different team that isn't in the same city as the Yankees. He went across town to the Mets, and okay, cool. But I just feel like he could have said something to those guys. But then again, like I said, I'm not in the locker room. I wasn't in the clubhouse with him. I don't know what the relationship was. But me personally, I just feel like he could have at least had some type of conversation with those guys. But that's all. That's really it. That's all I had to say.
Well, you said a mouthful. And before I even moved to Brian, I thank you for both, because with the Bryce Young thing, when the season began, like him, like CJ, I mean, these cats are running for their lives. The offensive line is just so shitty. And then you're gonna bench the young man. But he finished the last 2-3 weeks strong. And if you saw him today, week 18, right, had smiles on his face. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like it wasn't personal to him. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you're right. You got to come on this offseason. You got to give this guy some protection. You're saying? Because you know what he can do. You see what he can do. You know what I'm saying? And on the Juan Soto thing, I didn't know that Judge or Stanton or no one spoke to him. I didn't know that. Me being a Yankee fan and me being here in New York, I didn't know that. I just knew that we offered him the damn same money, damn near, and he just went over the goddamn.
I saw something
bridge.
About box seats, something about seats or whatever.
And Brian, who I work with, I gotta look at him every day, smiling, right? Come on, you know, who are we gonna replace that with? I'm still waiting for Steinbrenner and them, because you can't replace that with one player. It has to be at least 3 players, and I'm looking and I'm praying that they get at least 3 base hitters. I don't want no more home run hitters, because that's always been the Yankees. You see with Judge, playoffs, he disappears. Stanton, yeah, he's still there. So what? But he can't. I mean, he gets hurt. So my thing is, we need some base hitters. We need some players in the who's gonna come off, who's gonna come out of the mound, right? Who's gonna come out of the dugout, the 6th and the 7th and the 8th hitters, because you know we just cleaned house, because after the fifth hitter, I think it was Rizzo. You know what I'm saying? We was never getting on base, damn near. You know what I'm saying? Never. So Yankees got a lot of work they got to do. I agree with you with the Soto thing. Yeah, it was probably, if you did say he did it the way he did it, it was classless. I'm hearing rumors. It was in the papers, you know, when that took place. That he didn't like the way his family, his moms and his pops and them was treated with security at a few games. You know, like if who are you again? And left them out in the rain and some shit like that. You know, left them out in the cold a few times. So he didn't like the way his family. But I don't know if that's true. That was said in the papers here in New York. I don't know if that was true. I just know, and I'm happy for him. I'm a Juan Soto fan before he came to New York. So I'm happy for him. They got him on lock. He could step away in 5 years. That's what's in the contract, but I don't see that happening.
My thing wasn't with the organization. It's just like your teammates.
The teammates.
The press had asked him specifically, how you talk to any of your teammates. You talk to any of those guys. He's just like, no, I haven't talked to any of them. So I can understand him not appreciating how the organization treated his family or how the organization treated him, but I don't know what the relationship with his actual teammates may have been. So that's where my issue was. With the teammates, not speaking to the teammates or having any communication with those guys.
Communication was okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your 2-3 minutes. Yes, saying 2-3 minutes go to you, Brian. What's on your brain?
Well, as you like he said, you can see it. I'm just delighted over my Mets, man. We got Juan Soto, and we took him from the Yankees. And I agree with you, Will. This is a dirty business. It is. But you are never, ever going to get me to feel sorry for the Yankees. No, 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 no. You talking about the team that buys the best players off of every team, taking advantage of the no salary cap every year, stacking their team with millionaires and millionaires and no. We got Soto from y'all. I'm happy. You know I'm be rubbing it in on you for the every time he do something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what I really wanted to talk about, and I need to get this on record. It's cute and everything how they talking about in the NBA that all these teams are they're tanking for a particular player, Cooper Flag. But there's a dirty little secret. Cooper Flag is not the best player in the country. I'm sorry. And if you don't believe me, I invite you to watch a Rutgers game, please. Because that boy Ace Bailey is a generational talent. He is 6'10", a handle, a jump shot. I mean, a legitimate jump shot. I don't mean a streaky shooter. He could shoot mid-range threes. He take you off the dribble. He's 6'10". He's long. Once he gets a little strength up, he's gonna win Rookie of the Year. I don't know why a team would take Cooper Flag over him. I don't see it. Matter of fact, there's another kid on that team called Dylan Harper, who's Ron Harper's son, who's also balling. And I don't know if Cooper Flag's better than him. But that's a toss-up to me. You're gonna take Cooper Flag over him. That's cool. But Ace Bailey, no. Ace Bailey's the best player in the country. Please watch a Rutgers game if you haven't seen it yet. Please go and watch it. You will see what I'm talking about. I mean, the way he's scoring, the way he's doing it, he's embarrassing people. He's on another level. Even Kevin Durant came out and made a statement about how good he is and how he's on a better path. Like he's better now at his age than what Durant was at that age. This is what Durant said. And I don't know. I mean, I seen Durant in college. I think they were both special players. So I guess he's just, trying to give him a little credit. But I find them to be similar type players, though. And I think they're going to do the same things. And he's going to do the same thing that Kevin Durant was doing, or even better. He's a generational talent, and I need to get that on record.
Okay. No Cooper Flag, because I'm a dookie. Right.
Cooper Flag is good.
Remember, he's 17. He's doing it. Yeah, he's one. He's gonna be one and done. He'll be in NBA next season.
Yeah, but the problem with Cooper Flag is that he don't have a handle, and he definitely don't got a left hand. Like he could go left, but he can't go, effectively through traffic.
Yeah, I see that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With this kid Ace Bailey, man, he's left, right, through traffic, splitting people. It's ridiculous.
Rucker. Okay, Ruckus. Okay. All right. I got to catch the next Rucker game. I caught a few. Okay. All right. 2 minutes, Rel. What we got?
Oh, man. So this is the first year of the a 12-team college football playoff. And my Ohio State Buckeyes, man. Like, so we took the L against Michigan, which it's like our fourth loss in a row against Michigan, and the whole fan base is ready for Ryan Day to be fired. And they still clamoring over like, yo, Ryan Day got to leave. We got to sign Mike Vrabel. We got to sign Marcus Freeman or someone else except for Ryan Day because he hasn't delivered. But that fire that we came out with against Oregon and the initial game versus Tennessee, I really feel like this could be the Buckeyes' year if they continue to play with that momentum we have going on and with that fire on offense. You like actually using all of our receivers, using creative schemes on offense, and our defense being just like continue to dominate that front line, that front seven. So it's a great time to be a Ohio State Buckeye fans. I mean, a lot of us are nervous because we used to the Buckeyes getting close in the playoffs and then just choking and just like losing in crazy fashion. So we all just locked in right now. And right now we got 2 games left. We got Texas next year. I mean, not next week, and then between Penn State and Notre Dame in the championship if we make it to the championship. So it's wide open.
Yeah, but y'all got a decision y'all got to make with the coach if he don't do the job. If he don't get y'all to the promised land, you got a big decision you got to make. That's definitely. Yes. Phil, end it, Phil. What's on your brain these 2 minutes?
As many people know, that viewership across the board is down in the National Basketball Association. A lot of people want to point to low management and other factors, players resting, maybe like the style of play in general. But all this is driven by the overdosing, if you will, on analytics. When analytics was first introduced to professional sports, it was done so with the mindset of, you know what, we can make the game more efficient and make it better. And in some ways, that's good because you want your players to understand their strengths, where they're good, and also areas in which they can improve. However, what I've seen, especially with the National Basketball Association, is that the analytics are becoming overly the thing where teams are leaning towards. Like now we're getting to the point where we're no longer running set offices in the league, or not too many teams do. You see it. It's either like high tempo up and down, or trying to get as many shots up as you possibly can. The majority of those shots now are 3-point shots because the data says that 3 is better than 2. So the more threes you take, the greater increases your chances of possibly winning the game, which in some instances I get, but overall is watering down the product of your sport because you're taking away the creativity, the nuances that go within the game, the subtleties of that nature. So I would like to see a pullback from analytics and allow these players to really fully utilize their skill sets, not just running to the 3 or settling for layups and drives, but utilizing that area of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. I can name a lot of guys who made a living shooting in the mid-range from 12 to 18 feet out. Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, these guys have all won championships on different teams because they had a solidified mid-range game and they utilized the entire floor. They were running these set offenses that gave them opportunities to be great in those areas. So if we can get back to that and possibly make this game a little more exciting, then I think the viewership will turn up. So that's my 2 cents.
Wow, Phil, you know, I'm glad you brought that up because I was saying to myself a few weeks ago, watching the league pass and watching, I forgot what game I was watching, and I remember the commentator said he had a free layup, but he threw it out because his man was at the 3-point line, and I'm seeing that more and more. Cats can get to the hoop, but if they see that guy at the 3-point, they passing it back out. I said, yo, you had the layup. Why you pass it back out? It's all about, that 3. And then I'm hearing about more coaches talking about, I need more 3s from you guys. More 3s. You're hearing coaches saying this. We got to bring up the number of 3s we shoot. It's not enough. I'm like, yeah, but so you're right. Which, to your point, you're right.
Hey, Tommy, you know when you run the 1-on-3 drill, we ran it a million times in practice. The wings come in for the layup, right? They don't. Right. Now they running out to the 3s.
You're running out to the 3. Yeah,
that's different. That's a different game now.
Yeah. You know, I'm watching Trey Young last night. My man, he like Steve Curry now. He's shooting from half court. And he hitting them. I said, God damn, it's no limit no more. You know, these guys got the green light. Everybody's pulling. You know, KP from the Celtics, the big center, he's pulling from way out now. I'm like, damn.
Bring back the ball check.
Yeah. Well, fellas, I want to thank y'all. I want to thank my guests, Will, my man from St. Louis. Thank you very much. Brian from Brooklyn, New York. Thank you so much, as always. To my dude, you already know, Rel. I ain't even got to say no more. Phil from Chicago. Listen, you know I got to get you back on several more times because you know your sports. You know what I'm saying? For me to even invite pick up the phone to text somebody to say, yo, I need you. I would love to have you on this show. You got to know your sports. Because I'm saying that because I got cats, you know what I'm saying, here in New York, right? And they my dudes. But they don't really know they sports. They, you know, they gonna be like that street corner shit. Exactly. Or piggyback off what do y'all say, right? I don't need dudes like that on this show, right? I need heads who know the sports, who know sports. So I appreciate y'all very much. I had to get that out, right? Because just before zooming in, I had one of my cats hit me. He said, "What you doing? Watching the game?" "Yeah, I'm about to do a show." "Well, you ain't hit me on it." I said, "Nah, I ain't hit you on it. I'll tell you why later I hit you on it." Because he's one of those dudes who don't really know football that well, right? So I don't need him on my football show. You know, that's my dude, but that ain't your game, right? So I had to bring that up. So listen, I want to thank y'all for hanging out with me in my basement. To all my viewers and listeners, please continue to check me out on YouTube and subscribe. Check me out on my streaming platforms, Apple and Spotify. Also, I'm live every Tuesday and Thursday. TikTok live, 8 p.m. Eastern time. At least I try to be, to give you guys these hot topics. We have fun. The fan base, TikTok, between the chatting and joining is you know, listen, sometimes I'm on there almost an hour. And yeah, we have fun big time. Thank y'all. TikTok followers, thank y'all very much. Please remember to check out the Even Flow Coffee Company, created to combine the interests of coffee lovers, fashion, and music. And for more information, to make a purchase, visit evenflowcoffee.com. And as I always say, sports is what keeps this world from going insane, either in the pandemic or no pandemic. Until next time, take care.